The following program is a collection of dudes talking about the happenings in the CrossFit world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions, especially those of JY, do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of others on the show. If you take things out of context, please reconsider watching. Before you enjoy the show, let me just say Nashville is freaking cold. Thanks a lot, Kiefer.
Welcome to The Spin, December 11th. Nice little intro there from Kyra.
That doesn't even sound like her.
It's close enough.
There wasn't enough giggly.
She's very serious.
It's nice of you guys to run a proven promo to start the show.
Proven, yeah. It's one and the same, I feels like, but yeah. How's it going, man?
Good. We're what are we? Pushing 2 weeks in now with our stint in Nashville, so we're starting to settle in a little bit.
Yeah, I asked you how the move went, and you never answered me, dick.
That's how well it went. No, the drive and everything was fine, but we still don't have any of our furniture. So like, you'll see people that follow Kyra will see we literally have an air mattress in our living room, and then we have 2 dog beds, and we just lay on the air mattress with a TV propped up on our computer, and that's about it.
What happened? Like, moving company and
we use like a freighting company, and they basically quoted us with a delivery window, and of course we were hopeful that it would be on the short end of the window, and it is looking like it's going to push up pretty close to Christmas, but we're good. I just spend my whole day here and just go home when it's time for bed.
Do you have couches that you can sleep on there at all?
We have beds. We got new beds delivered in the living room. We don't have anywhere to sit, so we have an air mattress down there for like a sitting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a couch in my gym that I occasionally take a nap on.
Yeah. I just go into Nick's office when I need to lay down somewhere.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Kiefer, who was out in Las Vegas, joined Proven, what was it? Middle of last season?
Yeah, shortly after semifinals.
Yeah. And at the time it was like, hey, I'm just going to stay out here in Vegas and do my thing. And now you made the trek out to Nashville. Kyra joined you. And you didn't pick a good week to introduce her to Nashville weather. That's for sure.
It's definitely a change up for both of us. But I thought I would be fine because I came from the Northeast and I only spent a couple years in Vegas, but I've definitely gotten soft.
You got adapted.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a low of 15 Friday morning.
Yeah.
So it's been tough. How's that move? You've been here for a couple of weeks. How's it been so far getting acclimated to Proven HQ?
It's easy. I mean, the facility is incredible. You've been here, Spin, so you know what it's like. Like from a training standpoint and a work standpoint, it's everything we could ask for, including having a paper street right on site. But having an actual office at the gym is nice, so I can step away, do my programming and work. We've got the pro space. The affiliate membership base is actually like bumping. The classes are busy, so it's got a really good vibe.
So you brought a lot of athletes with you from Underdogs when you were there. Has that changed? I know Nick was saying it's kind of like a one-on-one like coaching like thing. So how many athletes are you now coaching, and who are those like specifically responsible for?
Sure. I coach pretty much the same number of athletes I had when I was at Underdogs still. So I float right around 11 or 12 individual athletes that I coach. Most of them competing around a semifinals to games level, a couple that are a little more recreational, but I like that number. I would have room to take on a few more, but I like to keep it low enough that I can keep it pretty intimate. And like my hope would be that if I were to add many more athletes at this point, it would be people that are spending more time on site so I can work in person with them. So I think that's where I can have the most value. And that's where I had a lot of fun in Vegas, was having 5 or 6 athletes that I'm with every single day. Now that's a little bit less. Like for now, it's just Kyra, and then I'll help coach Sydney when I'm there. She works with Dwight, but I get to be like eyes on the floor for her. And then I have 1 or 2 athletes that are going to move down eventually who have been remote or were in Vegas with me.
That was something that Pedro sort of brought up when he was talking to Nick. Like, he was talking about, like, can people just jump in as far as coaching people? I was wondering, do you guys have like a meeting each week where you're like, hey, Dwight, I saw this with Sydney, just FYI, like this is what you might want to think about?
So we have a general coaches meeting every week where we'll talk about things, and then we'll pocket off to have conversations. Like, I've had a lot of conversations with Joey just to talk about like things that he's doing with Colton or things that I might be doing that might work well for Isaac or somebody else that he coaches. With Dwight and I now, I think we're starting to build a relationship where we figured out a flow of like showing each other the outline we have for a week, figuring out if there's a couple pieces that Sid and Kyra can do together, because it's great to push each of them on. And now now that I'm getting to know her better and the things that they're working on, I'll give her some notes, or I'll give him back notes to be like, hey, here's how this piece went today, so that he can make adjustments from there. So it works well. And Dwight's like the rest of us, like he's accessible 24/7, both for her and for me. So we get to chat a lot.
What would you say the number is for like one-on-one, truly like dedicated coaching for when it starts to become it's not
unmanageable,
individual? Yeah, it's not like super individualized anymore, and you just have everybody doing the same thing.
To be totally honest, I truly think it's individual to the person and also to what other responsibilities they have in their day. Like for me, this is an appropriate number for the other things that I'm doing with some of our online programs and the responsibilities I want to take on. Plus, I know that with athletes in person that I'm spending 3 to 5 hours a day, specifically just with them training. If I didn't have people that I was working with in person, that's in theory 3 to 5 hours I could spend on my computer programming for them individually. Mm-hmm. So I think it's different when somebody's wholly remote versus in kind of a hybrid role like I am, or a hybrid role like Shane is, where like Shane spends all day in the gym coaching somebody. So for him to take on an exorbitant number of athletes doesn't make sense, because that's not where his time is being spent. So I know a lot of coaches that take on 20 plus, 30 plus. We have some of our coaches that have more around 20 athletes, but for me, that's a good number.
I have at my gym, there's 6 or 7 people that I'm like, I want you to do this. I want you to do this, this, and this. And then that number starts stretching out to like 10 plus. And I'm like, we're just doing what I'm doing. And then I will scale that workout or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's what it turns into. And then like, if it gets like, at least for me in person,
I find individualized coaching and just programming in general to be infinitely easier when I work with somebody in person than it is remotely, because part of the time commitment goes to like video feedback, reviewing notes, having communication with them. Well, if I see them every day, I don't have to do any of that stuff. So that's a big part of time commitment that's taken away. Plus I have a better intimate feel of like exactly how something went in a day. So for me to individualize something, whether that means a totally unique piece or it just means maybe there's a similar piece that a couple athletes are working on, but I know how to tweak it by 1 or 2 reps or 1 or 2 cals or something, I can do that better when I see them every day.
Mm-hmm. Now with the news that we got dropped today, for a couple of years, we saw like camps were, bumping up in numbers of athletes who were starting to do them, but everybody seemed to be remote. And then TTT kind of went off on their own. They started their camp where it was like, we're here. Yeah. And then they did the same thing in Cookeville. And now I feel like you guys are similar in that, like, you still offer that hybrid model, but you have an HQ. Do you think athletes who are really going to try to push the limits are going to start funneling into, I need to live in Nashville, I need to live in Cookeville, I need to live in Alpharetta?
I don't think you need to live in those places, but I think you need to make yourself accessible to them. Like, there is an infinite amount of value that comes from spending time intimately with your coach, or in an environment where you're actually competing a little bit more against people at your level. And it doesn't need to be all the time. And some people get more burnt out from that than others. And they like being there for a week and being away for 3 weeks, and others thrive in that environment every day. But I do think that we'll continue to trend towards that direction, because I think what you're seeing now too, as the camps evolve, is that they're just offering so many more resources. Like, there was a point when camp started where a camp was just a collection of coaches that worked independently. And I can tell you from our perspective, and I know some of the coaches at TTT, and I know it's the same way, but like, when you get a coach with us, you get 8 coaches, because you've got the knowledge that I can bring from myself, as well as everything that I'm learning from every one of them. Like, if I'm having a hard time with somebody that's having that's trying to improve at rope climbs or trying to improve at running, like I can have a direct conversation with Joey and be like, hey, what are you working on with Colton that's going so well? How can I implement some of these things and learn more? And I think to not want to be a part of a camp that has that exponential growth and knowledge would be silly for an athlete.
Absolutely.
It's almost like you're providing that on your own versus like you look at others, they go outside. Like you look at what Adler's doing. He's working with Hinshaw. He's doing conjugate strength right now. Like he's searching that on his own versus you guys have that in-house. They can provide that, which makes things a lot easier.
I think it just makes it more cohesive that way, right? Like obviously Jeff's having a ton of success with that style, but I know in the past we've worked with, I've experimented with working with an independent weightlifting coach that could help out or somebody that could write conditioning. And it's hard to get everybody on the same page with how much volume or how much attention to each thing is important enough. But for me as a head coach to be able to put those things together and tether up or down on the volume or the intensity of it all is just, it's better. So it's easier for us as coaches to seek knowledge from each other or someone else and then take it back to our own programming and then write that for the athlete.
Would you say that's the main differentiator between you guys and HWPO?
I to be totally honest, not even to skirt the question, but like
I'm not even talking about the hoppers. I don't care about that at all. That's not even where the question come from. But there are similarities between the two. I want to know the differences between the two, and I think that's one of them. You know what I mean?
It could be. Like
also, you guys use your headquarters, and they don't. You know, like that's what I'm trying to. I don't want you to get in trouble, but
I won't get in trouble. I genuinely say this is like I don't know how they operate on the inside with that stuff. If that's the case, then maybe that is a big separator. But if that's just perception, then maybe not.
Because from an outside point of view, it is a true outside point of view. I don't know nobody over there.
Yeah,
they're sucking. You know what I mean? Like they are.
Welcome to the show, Kiefer.
Hey, I'm just listening. This is all John.
People have not been successful when they've moved over there. And the one person that has been successful, you know, there's a couple that are doing all right, but the main one who has been successful this last year wasn't even because of them. And everybody knows that. I'm saying what I'm saying is I don't think Proven is like that, but why are they not? You see what I'm saying?
What's wrong, Kiefer? What's wrong with the world?
I think the best thing that we're doing this year is a bunch of brilliant minds together from a coaching perspective to work collectively to improve so that we can each serve our athletes better. And I know this just from the last 2 weeks of Kyra being here, training with Sid. I know this from the training camp that we did around road qualifiers where Shane and Tia were here as well, that when we're all together, we're much stronger as a unit because there are things that Shane sees that I don't. But then when he sees that, I get to retain that and I learn how I can implement it too. And if we're all doing those things together, then we're all getting better. And if we're all working in a different space or the athletes aren't actually coming on site with us, then we don't have that opportunity. So
it's more of a true camp, true to the word camp.
Yeah. And that's what we want. Right.
Yeah.
And like, it's not a everyday all year situation. Like Luis Oscar Moya spends half the year here and half the year somewhere else. Shane and Tia spend half the year here, half the year somewhere else. But then some of us that are here, hopefully all year, all the time are like the steadfast components of the camp in-house.
Do you, with other camps,
how I do it skirting all of that.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful political answer. You should run for office someday.
Thank you.
What are the politics, the interactions between camps, between the camps? Like
that's above my pay grade.
Like, do you guys pay attention to what HWPO is doing, Mayhem, others, you know, Brute? Like, obviously you don't know the inner workings, but you see like maybe they bring on a different type of coach or they are doing something outside of elite space, but more towards the affiliate programming or things like that. Are you guys having discussions about those or you just keep blinders on?
No, I think it'd be silly not to pay attention to what other people are doing. And I think that's a big part of Nick's role too, is like keeping a pulse on what's going on in the space in every aspect. But then it's just something that, you know, anytime I see something that I find interesting from another camp, I'll shoot a message over to Nick and we're having a conversation about, is this something we implement? Do we have the resources for this? Do we want the resources for this thing? So I think it's, again, being that camps are relatively new and we're all still kind of evolving, and, you know, people want to say the space as a whole is sort of new. You have to keep an eye out on what everybody else is doing so that we can continue to improve or figure out where our best market fit is.
And also with like Hopper moving, obviously there goes a lot of discussion about learning about, where he's going to Brute. He's talked to L for a while. When you're on the other side of that, where an athlete approaches you, how does that conversation go? Just in generalities of what you can provide, what Proven can provide, and why they may want to make a change and why they pick you.
I think, so I actually listened to Jason's little YouTube video right before this, and I think he put it perfectly, saying like he has learned so much from that camp, but it was just time for something new. And he wanted to explore a different style or method or aspect of things. I think in any situation, if you have an athlete coming to you or you have a relationship with an athlete and you want to have that conversation, really it's more about asking questions like, what have you been happy with? What have you not been happy with? Where do you feel like you can continue to grow? And then just figuring out if there's a good fit for us to be able to offer what they're looking for. Because I think that, Nick and Shane have done a really good job over the last couple of years of becoming pretty crystal clear on like what their expectations are, what they want this camp to mean, and what they want to offer to athletes. So if we can ask them enough questions about what they're looking to accomplish, and we have the resources to do that, then it's an easy sell to be able to get them on board and give them a coach that can give them that opportunity.
Moving to the season, 25 being kind of different. We don't really know all of the answers. What has your conversations with athletes been from a participation standpoint, other league opportunities, thoughts on changing of the structure?
And what's the role for you? Like, you're like, hey, I think we should do, obviously Kyra's a little different, but hey, I think we should do this, or what do you want to do? Like, which one does it flirt with on that spectrum?
I think for me, I'm still in an information gathering phase where like every time we get more information, I'm pushing it out to my athletes. I'm saying, here's what seems like it's coming up. Season structure comes out. We have a conversation about what that looks like, what opportunities that can provide. People are upset about the fact that semifinals seems online, but to me, I'm trying to shift that into, hey, you might have an opportunity to also do multiple sanctionals, both in our region and outside of it, which weren't an option in years past. You might have an option to do team and individual this year if you're an athlete that knows that semifinals might be the end of the road for you. So in that way, like, we're still looking at multiple opportunities to compete. And then if something comes out like, Will's season, I'm sending it to them. I'm saying, keep an eye out for this. Let's see what this looks like. This might be a good opportunity for us to compete additionally. And I think from like a 10,000 foot view for me, I'm prepared to think of this year as a season where athletes could get more competition experience than we do in the past. Because in the past, everybody looks at open, quarterfinals, semifinals, games. During this time of the year, those are the only things that happen. This year, I think we're looking at it as like, hey, there's going to be a season of some sort for CrossFit, but there's probably also going to be a lot else going on. Maybe we can dip our toes in multiple things at the same time.
Look at Zane. He wakes up in Australia and sees Mr. Kiefer.
Okay, I have a hypothetical for you then.
Oh, good.
Sick.
Probably not happening in 2025, but let's say 2026. There's a competition in August and there's a competition in July. The one in July is the CrossFit Games. It's open went down. It's kind of stagnant now. Let's say 200,000 people in the open. Let's say the prize is 300,000. Okay, what it has been. The other competition is one of Will's, and it's the Fitness Championship Collective, whatever he wants to call it. But he knows whatever he wants to call it.
It's Willie's Fitness Project.
TM. Put a TM on that, John.
He's in bed with a couple sheiks though, and their grand prize is 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you focus on?
Why do you have to choose one? And is this
one's in August, one's in July? I'm saying like the way they interfere with they would interfere with each other.
Maybe is this a top 5 or a podium athlete? Because those are the only people you're talking about winning $300,000, $500,000.
Sure. So if you're not,
what if you're anywhere in the top 10 to top 20, top 30.
Let's say Kyra.
Okay.
That's a good example. Like wants to make the games every year.
Yeah.
Would. If you make the games, you're not top 10.
And Willie's Fitness Project is guaranteeing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, of course.
Good money.
Kyra right now. That's what, like, where she was right now is what I'm saying. Like that.
To be totally honest, we'd probably try to do both.
And
why would you turn down? Oh, yeah. I mean, why would you? So your qualification for them comes earlier. You do your best, make sure you qualify. You go there. Yeah, we want to have a top 10 spot, a top 15, whatever that is. But as an athlete that's trying to be a professional in a sport that doesn't have a shit ton of money, and a lot of her earnings come from exposure and from brands and from social media, why wouldn't we rip both of them?
Yikes.
And they're a month apart, but like people did the games, Wadapalooza SoCal, Rogue, they'll do Wadapalooza Miami.
All right, let's say a week apart.
What?
Yeah, a week apart.
A week apart, you probably make a decision.
What about 3 days?
What do you make?
How about 2?
What do you choose?
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, I think I would just keep asking more questions about like, what's the field for it? Where's the venue for it?
I guess you could still try to qualify for both and then make a decision when you had to. But
even still, say you qualify for both, say they are a week apart. You're going to be fresher for the first one. Great. You show up to the second one, you still have an opportunity to make money.
Everybody else is going to be beat up too.
This is the job sometimes.
Yeah.
And that just might be an evolution of things. And we take a good off season after that. But whether you do a competition 3 months apart that you're able to peak for each, or you do them 2 weeks apart where you try to stay as peaked as you can during it, I think that what we're learning in this is that if the season is going to continue to change and other players want to come on board and try to shake things up or add more opportunities, we have to take advantage of opportunities.
Okay.
Speaking of competition,
Cole moved both.
Yes, and he do Kill Taylor on both weekends too.
And he'd do a qualifier for Rogue on Monday.
And he wouldn't make it because of that.
Damn close.
I'm just saying they affect each other.
If he had an extra 12 hours.
I think that's probably the right call. Just embrace whatever change is happening, and every chance you get a chance to expose yourself, you should.
Speaking of competitions season, how about the Proven Community Throwdown?
Did you sign up yet, Tyler?
I did right before the show.
Good. John, did you sign up yet?
I have not signed up. No.
This will be the first competition I've signed up for since last quarterfinals. So I'm exposing myself, and I'm not nearly as fit as I was last quarterfinals.
That's okay.
I have a bitter taste in my mouth with online stuff.
So can you lay it out for those who don't know? Do a short pitch.
Yeah, go ahead. I honestly don't know a lot about it.
That's okay. That's good. So it's Proven Community Throwdown is an online individual competition. It's going to be the first 2 weekends in January, and there's 2 workouts each week. So you get 4 total workouts. The submission window is similar to the Open. It's between Thursday and Monday. But what we did is we really tried to push this to be an affiliate or gym community driven thing where we are also providing like all of the programming and all the floor plans so they can be run within a class, right? So if you're a Proven gym now, it's built into the affiliate programming. If you happen to own a gym that's not a Proven gym and you sign up, you get access to all of our affiliate stuff during those 2 weeks, so you can run it as much or as little as you want as a gym. So what we want to see is that like gyms are running it as a class on Friday, and then on Saturday they're doing an in-house event for their gym. They're doing heats throughout the day. You can add on other things, bring in vendors, do whatever you want to make it a really cool internal throwdown that builds community for your gym. But the secondary thing we want is just to have this exciting online virtual individual competition at the start of the year to kick off the year that just gives people another opportunity to do something competitive that aren't necessarily like the games, the semifinals type of athletes. So anybody could sign up, like Kyra could sign up if she wanted to and steal prizes from somebody else who's more deserving and more our target audience. But like, it's not meant to be in competition with the Open, but it's a very similar style to the Open where the workouts are accessible for everybody. We'll have an RX and a scale division. We have a bunch of partners on board so that we can give cash prizes and equipment prizes and different things. It's just meant to be fun. Like as a brand, like we're very much, I'll answer that once it's very much like we've been very much a high performance brand for competitive CrossFit athletes, but we want to get more involved in the community. And so being able to offer a competition that's a little more community based is a great first step for us. And it's registration's $20 for individuals. Early bird pricing through Monday of next week is $15. And then, for the kind of the cool catch for it is that for a gym to sign up is totally free, meaning the gym submits their email address from the owner. They're going to get all of the information, all of the programming for the weeks, everything they need as a resource so that they can run it completely free. And there's a leaderboard for winners for the gyms. The gym's leaderboard is based on number of participants from your gym, meaning it's free to the gym, but you need individuals in your gym to pay and sign up to earn points for that.
Gotcha.
So you become, if say, John, you own your gym, you're like, hell yeah, we're going to get on board with this. We're going to run these in classes. You could run it totally free for your gym with nobody signed up and still be participant. They just won't be on the leaderboard. Mm-hmm. But if you get 50 members signed up and you're at the top of our leaderboard, well, your gym has an opportunity to win brand new Concept 2 machines, gifts from all of our other partners, and all of these things.
What's the programming going to be like?
Hold on. Here's my thing, Kiefer. So when the thing that scares me, okay, when you say it's community based, it's very easily accessible.
You're not winning.
You see what I'm saying? If it's dumbbell snatches and burpees, 5 of the 6 workouts, Kiefer, it's not for me. I'm sorry. That's I could do 2 of those workouts, but if it's just every workout, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Me and Kyra are similar a little bit in that she's a far greater, far greater. No. Like
God, you just hurt her feelings and mine.
Not fitness.
In spirit.
Like far more advanced on her part.
Sure.
But I'm saying like can do a lot of things not a lot of people can do. But
when
it's everything you do, there are people that are better. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm way farther down the spectrum, but I'm saying we're similar in that aspect.
We're on some spectrum, yeah.
Kyra, you know exactly what I'm saying, okay?
So
it's not.
The programming. It is. We absolutely wrote this with the idea of mass participation in mind, meaning we're not putting in high skills as a major component of workouts that's going to deter people from wanting to be involved for a couple reasons. One, we want it to be a little more like open style. Everybody can play, but we do also have an RX and a scale division. So if you don't have some of those skills, there's a scale division you can jump into. But secondarily, like this is our first event for this. Like we want it to be something that more people than not want to be involved in, have an exciting, like a good taste in their mouth about it. So that if we do more iterations of this down the line, we've already built a little bit of rapport. Maybe we can have an opportunity to make it that much harder, but we haven't scared people away from the jump.
How many workouts is it?
4, 2 each week.
Do y'all want to make a spin bet like between the 3 of us?
What, we do it?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like who wins the workout and we could do like money on it.
Between you 3 or us 3?
No, between us 3, me, Tyler, and Spin.
I'd do that.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll do it. I need the Masters division though.
You can. Hey, are you older?
You can pick the limited equipment.
How old?
We have.
I'm 43. I'm definitely in the Masters division.
Scaled and then limited equipment for this. Again, didn't add a Masters division yet. I know that some people will be upset about that, but honestly, like to say it for the 3rd time, it was about making sure that we could be successful running this and executing really well before we add even more layers on top of it.
We'll make a call spin. We'll make a call spin. If you need to if there's some weight one, we'll make a call on it. Okay.
All the standards are on Competition Corner. I can tell you right now, it's laid out in a way where the workout weights, barring a situation where there's something like a max lift scenario, if there were that, which I'm not saying there necessarily is, it wouldn't exceed a 135-95 barbell for something like a clean and jerk, or a 225-155 for a deadlift, or 95-65 for overhead squats, thrusters, that sort of thing.
Speaking my language.
Yes.
It's sweet music.
Simple.
I'm down for that if y'all are.
I signed up anyway.
That you have to sign up.
No. That's the point. We're going to be on the leaderboard.
Drop you $15 now, John.
Yep.
I'm going to wait until I have to spend.
When's 20. It go up? It go up to 20.
Monday night.
I'm going to wait till Monday night.
Sign up now, folks. Kiefer and I talk a little bit on the side. I'm a big like vision, inspiration kind of person. What were you trying to solve? What was the big inspiration behind doing this? Like,
I don't know if it was solving a problem as much as us getting in the game, if that makes sense. Like, we haven't been on the side of programming for events or running our own events yet. And obviously having an incredible facility here, like the ideas get thrown around about hosting something on site as well. And we thought that doing a virtual competition as our dipping our toes in the water was a good first step for that. So maybe if this has good traction, if our partners like what's going on, if we get enough participation from it, maybe the next iteration has an elite division also, or maybe the next division has an on-site final where we get to bring people here, or we can host it at other gyms. So I think it's just an entryway to whatever we want it to become.
Yeah,
that would be legit if you had like a finals and you came to Nashville and then like could kind of like
cool.
Make it your own competition. Yeah,
it'd be incredible.
Yeah, I mean your pro room is basically a semifinal regional floor with what, 4 lanes?
4 lanes.
Yeah. I mean, you can do a lot. So
are you guys going to do like an announcement video? Like, are you going to do like, how they did the old open announcements? Or are you just going to do like a still video? Are you going to do it live? Like, those are the parts. Cause I was thinking about like what gets me hype for the open, and it's those things.
We'll do
all the announcements.
I mean, I'm just saying.
We'll do workout videos in-house with some people. We're going to use some members. We'll use some of the athletes for them. Because we're running this through our affiliate program as well, because we want that to be a big piece of this. And honestly, like, we want people to have an opportunity to see what our affiliate programming is like, because what Dwight does with that is incredible, and he offers so much value. But because of that, all the workouts will be released like more than a week ahead of time, because they'll get it with their affiliate programming for the week.
Yeah. You still do a 1v1 showdown.
We'll go me versus Nick live.
Yeah.
Well, you could have Kyra and Sydney, and then you could be the Roe versus Boz. After show.
Hope Nick's still watching. He better start training.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, go ahead, Tyler.
I'm excited. I haven't been this excited. I'm sort of nervous because I haven't been training that hard, but it's kind of nice to have a reason to get back in the game, so to speak. So
yeah, I'm full on grid training. So if I do bad, that is why. I'm a grid athlete.
That is not why. If you do
that. I'm not doing burpees as much. That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, that's like, that was one of the coolest things about us choosing the beginning of the year to do it, because we're kind of in this off season. Everybody sort of follows this flow of the competitive season, whether or not they're actually competing or not, where like the fall and winter time starts to be a little bit of a downturn if you're not doing something like Wodapalooza. So kicking off the new year, having this competition, it can almost be like a pre-open tune-up for you. And then you've got another 6 weeks to do that. I think people in classes, the ones that really drink the Kool-Aid, that love like what's going on in the season, also love an opportunity to compete. And there's no reason not to give them more of those, because these are not going to be the type of workouts that you need to deload for a week after doing it. It's just an exciting way to make your Friday and Saturday that much harder.
That's cool. I like that. Man, I appreciate you jumping in.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
You can go back, hang out with Kyra on some lawn chairs. And
I don't get to do blind rankings.
It's not that exciting this time.
Every week yelling at
if you want to, we can move it up if you want.
Yeah, and you're not going to see the thing that I wanted either, Kiefer, that I was doing. It'll be next week. Okay.
Do we get
I worked really, really hard on it. It took me like 8 hours, but it's fine. We'll do it next. We'll do it next week.
Even finish it.
We get a peek under the curtain of what you're working on.
Nope. Next week you'll see it.
Okay, so I shouldn't tell them what you sent to Kyra.
No.
Okay, got it. No, cool. It's good to see you guys. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thanks, Kiefer.
Appreciate it.
Kiefer. We appreciate it.
Peace.
Yep. Kiefer. Good dude.
It was funny because he was talking about going to Proven right after semifinals, like they made the announcement, and leading up to semifinals in the East, he was like, "What are you doing?" And we were texting back and forth. He's like, "I might come stay and watch Jack Rosema." He was like, "We're buddies," but I was like, "You're being kind of weird about this." And so it makes a lot more sense now. And I hadn't stepped back and thought, "Oh yeah, you were there on an interview."
guess we should move on. Viewer comments.
What an outfit! Where did you find that picture of that guy?
It's on his Instagram. I don't know. He was very proud of it. I don't.
Who is it?
It's
the guy that
the Masters guy that I guess he didn't technically fail a drug test. He admitted use of exogenous testosterone during the out of season competition stage. Wow. I have no idea what that means. Other than at some point in June, somebody was like came knocking, and my guess is he was like, I could do this, but I'm gonna piss hot. So,
but then he refuted it.
Then he appeals it like, hey, can you lighten up on me? I didn't mean to, but yeah, he qualified for the games, and then that's why that age group only had 30. Yeah, I think he was 29 out of the 30 show up.
He is an Aussie.
No, he's from somewhere in the northeast. He's from Illinois, somewhere.
Looks like an Aussie to me.
I don't know. Looks like a leprechaun. Viewer comments. All right, this one is we're gonna start out with a bang. At Truffle Shuffle 83. I love listening to three people who have never and will never qualify for any late stage CrossFit qualifier talk shit about what someone like Pat Vellner, who is a perennial games athlete, thinks is important for the 2025 season to be better.
If you not watched literally any sports show,
I'm gonna let you know something. Truffle Shuffle. Believe it or not, I'm gonna keep on doing that. I'm gonna keep on talking. Anything that I want to say, I'm gonna say it. People, I've been tried to cancel me twice, okay, and I'm still here. Your little comment's not gonna stop me, or Tyler, or Spin.
Yeah, I guess we should only let athletes do podcasts and talk about the season.
They're very entertaining. I've heard.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's a couple of random podcasts out there, and a couple of blogs, but there's nobody talking about the season.
Literally everybody on ESPN, most people on ESPN, unless like the basketball guys seem to lean pretty heavy into the basketball guys. But it's like basically everybody else is not an ex-pro athlete, and they're all pontificating.
The best one was a punter, if he's even an athlete.
Yeah. I will give Pat
McAfee is amazing. I think his show is great. Like what he's done for himself, like their whole crew, you know.
I don't think anybody would. If you didn't know he was a punter, you'd be like, there's no way he was a punter in the NFL.
No, he's walking in Walmart. People think he sells insurance.
Not only that, but like when he would punt the ball, I appreciate Pat because he would go and try to make tackles.
Yeah, I never really knew much about him, but now I realize he's probably a big dude compared to.
Oh yeah, he's not small.
So yeah, sorry, Truffle Shuffle. The good news is everybody.
Why are you here? Comments. If that's not what you want.
That's literally what this show is.
I don't understand. I do not understand the comment if you're watching the show.
Oh, there was a comment on the post I made the other day, and somebody just said no. It's like nothing else. Just no. People like just want to fucking fly off the handle, John.
You're watching Fox or CNN or MSNBC, whichever, wherever you float to, that's fine. No judgment here. I'm not Taylor. But it's like you commenting on one of their YouTubes. I love it when people who will never become president talk about who's going to become the president. What the freak are you talking about?
David Weed said it was the dumbest show on earth.
Good. David
only comments bad things. I don't. He hate watches. That guy hate watches. That's something I caught myself doing that one time, like a long time ago. I don't do it anymore. But I caught myself watching this guy's Instagram because I hated him. Like I think he's the worst type of human being there is. And I would wait and I would look at the comments of his videos to see other people hate him. You know what I mean? And he's just a guy that sells, his body, basically. Danny Spiegel, but in guy version, but like to guys. I'll tell you after, Tyler. You'll know who it is. And then I was like, this is such a waste of my time. Like I'm like, what are you doing, man? You know. And
that's
then
why I blocked Halpin, because I started hate following Halpin, and I was just like, this is poison. So I just
and then you're just filled with anger all day because what this guy posted that you hate, and that's why Taylor is how he is.
Same with
how many follows? How many follows do you think, like a percentage of Taylor's follows or hate follows?
Just hate follows.
I think Pedro might be the king of hate following.
Oh,
though.
he's the that was
but he's I don't know if he hates though. He's like he just knows others will hate.
Oh no, I
think he hates.
He doesn't go into the comments and start
rage.
Blasting people, but he definitely
he
gets worked up.
He's I feel like he's the chameleon of the group. The guy that just like he's the Han in Fast and the Furious. You know what I'm talking about? Like he can just blend in any environment. You don't know, y'all don't know Fast and the Furious like that.
I haven't seen Too Fast, Too Furious in a very long time.
Okay,
I saw the original.
Han's not until the third one.
I thought he was in Japan with
that's the third one.
Mike Winchell.
That's the third one.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that guy is from Missouri?
He lives in Alabama now. He lives in Decatur.
I know he's from Missouri though.
I will say that was the hard part on Pedro's show today. We had to debate that essential, like, what would you block off of Instagram, like in the CrossFit community if you could? And I was just like, I blocked Halpin. That's all I got. Like, I don't care about any of the rest of it. Like, I can watch you make a jackass of yourself all day and not really care.
There should be an sponsored ad limit per post. Like, you can only do a sponsored ad, like a sponsored post, like once every 5 or something.
Well, you just should. Like, that's like good etiquette. Because if not, you're just a billboard.
There's plenty of billboards out there.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
I don't know. I lost track of everything that was in my head. I'm sorry.
This one's somewhat long. Somebody thinks it's controversial. Kyle Dotson, VFL. He wants to know if we condense the game season into a 2 to 3 month period, run the open in that time frame to qualify for regionals, go to the games like it was back in the day. And then throughout the rest of the year, we have UFC type super events where they're all head to head 3-round matches versus the standard. So kind of like reps ahead, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you have
matches.
A business pitch more so than a comment.
I think you might be associated with reps ahead.
He's posting as an anonymous. Yeah. Hear me out. Just hear me out.
That's right.
I saw this thing on YouTube. It looked really cool.
That's like John going in the comments. You know which guy I like on this show? JY.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it's you know, if I I'm definitely not gonna spend the time to do that. But if I like wanted to be in the comments to talk about us, I think I would just fake like I was a Nazi and I'd be like, Southern pride, Tyler. like and just try to like get people in trouble like that. You know what I mean? Like,
now you understand my
we're with you, Jason Watkins. We're with you.
You're a troll, John.
That's his born name.
You need to lean into that.
Gabe, Paper Street Coffee, a new YouTube member. Thank you, Gabe. They've had some massive sales, at least on Black Friday. Who knows if they'll have another one? But
dude, he's between now and Christmas, away beans.
That's right.
The bean man.
That's right. I realize. I think I've always felt this way, but like after seeing Fit Fest, these exhibition type things, it just doesn't do it for me. And I get that there's prize money for reps ahead, but at the same time, it's somewhat of an exhibition.
What's good about reps ahead
is reps ahead. Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say and I don't, John, you may disagree. What I liked about reps ahead is the same thing I like about grid is you've got like an hour or two and then you're done. Like you can go on about your day. Whereas FitFest and some of these other exhibitions last forever in a day. It's like, I can't sit here for 6 hours, 8 hours.
So like if it says exhibition, I'm out. Like if I don't want to watch people not work hard. I don't want to watch, even if they're the fittest people in the world. I don't want to watch LeBron play pickup basketball 50%. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to watch Saquon Barkley play flag football. I don't like it's not the same. And like if it's for the Olympics, maybe that's different because there's a gold medal at the end of it. That's your country, right? But like if it's just flag football championship and Saquon Barkley's in it, I don't care. I just don't like.
Not for only the competition itself, because that's the key.
Well, I want people to try hard. I want to watch people. Like I could have just as much fun watching two people at your gym that are 60 percentile in the open, right? Like they barely have all the movements. They're not super fit, but they come to the gym every day and they work hard. And then it's a workout where they can send it on the end of the bike. And there's two guys or two girls, and they're just racing each other on the bike at the end of the workout, putting themselves in this hole that they're going to take 80 minutes to get out of. I'll have just as much fun watching that as I would Dallin and Jason racing each other. It's just the stakes are a lot higher in one than not. But I'll have just as much fun if we go to like a backyard Kimbo Slice type event and we're watching two dudes just bare knuckle knock each other the freak out. I bet you have more excitement over that than Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter.
John goes to chicken fights on the weekends.
The names are cool, and that's what gets people to like sign up or like watch. But for me, and maybe I'm alone in this, but for me, I don't care about the big names. I just want to see people try hard. I want to see like the people, like if you're the fittest in the world, I want to see what's capable.
It's this, right? You want to watch a sport, not exercising.
But we don't have a sport.
And if it's an exhibition, it's not that. Reps ahead, I think the concept of reps ahead is great. I just think the workout is flawed. It's
just
the same
do anything
thing
but box jumps
every single time. It's the same workout every single time. People are like, man, James is real. You can't beat James. It's because it's the same workout. James Smith's good at that workout.
Yeah, James is good at box jumps.
Like, I wish they would just change the workout drastically every single time. Maybe it's a 20-minute chipper, and maybe it's a 3-minute sprint. It doesn't matter. I just wish the workout was different every time, and then you get two randoms to go at it. Like, they could be big names, and the winner gets to stay, right? And then that way, if you're like a 4-time repeat, like nobody can beat you, like that's kind of saying something. It would be worthwhile way more.
Yeah.
And I think way more people would be interested if there's this guy that you just can't beat, but it's a different workout every single time. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's weights involved, real ones, not 95-pound snatches, right? Like, and I'm not saying it doesn't have to be every time, but I just don't like the workouts the exact same. I don't like that the score resets every time. And I wish
you start over at the same spot.
I wish they just
time.
went. It's cool to do the interval thing, but I wish they just went. Imagine if it was those 5
kind of
rounds.
like Chief, where you have to restart where you left off.
Like, don't put a rounds for time on it. Just say
go until somebody
12
stops.
toes to bar, 12 box jumps, 12 snatches, go. First one that gets 10 reps ahead wins. Go. If they go 15 freaking minutes without having somebody go 10 reps ahead, I guarantee at some point someone's going to break. Right? Right?
Yeah. No,
and imagine how amazing that would be watching the mental breaking point, right? Of regardless of any workout.
Well, that was the first one I ever saw. I remember texting you guys about it. It was James versus Tyler Eggeman, and they basically did it to the death till James got 14 reps ahead. Now, yes, they restarted every time, but they weren't going to shut it off. Like they had to get the 14 reps ahead.
But here's
and
the
that's
thing.
how Sprague won. Eggman was ahead the whole time and blew up.
No, but that's my point. It reset every time, Tyler. So when he was ahead, none of that counted for anything because then it just reset.
Well, you're still on the
All James has to do is just
going
stay
into the
with.
next
But
round.
all he has to do is
Right.
just stay close to him until he gets tired.
He wasn't
Like-
though. He was back like 10 reps at one point, meaning he made up 24 reps over the course of like freaking 15
There should be
minutes.
no rest.
I like the rest, but that's me personally.
There's every single time.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I
No,
like-
Do
I
that
like
all
this
the
all
I,
the
time.
I want it to be different every time. I want them just to go until somebody breaks. I think that's the point of going head to head. It's not, and I think the workouts too. But other than that, I think the concept's great. I do. I
Other
think the
than the
concept is
concept,
great.
I love the
I
concept.
just putting it into practice. I don't like it like at all. I think it could be way, way better than it is.
Spiegel, #1 fan. I like to watch these three dudes. They are making tens of dollars off of this.
Jokes on you.
On a good show.
We're
On a good
making
show.
ones of dollars.
Once of dollars.
One more comment here. JY, this is from Jennifer Rigwall. JY is like fine wine or a wart growing on my hand.
Depends on
Maybe
the
it's
day.
a wart you start to like though.
Could be. Could be. I don't know.
When somebody asks, do you want this removed?" And you're like, "No,
You
it's
know
what
what?
makes me me."
I had a buddy and he had a speech impediment and his name was Freedom Scott. And he said it, Freedom Scott. And I loved that he had a speech impediment and I never wanted him to get rid of it. It made
That's
Freedom
terrible.
who he was.
He's got an amazing name and he can't say it.
Freedom.
Freedom.
That's terrible.
But I loved it. I love speech impediments.
I'm proud to be an American because at least I know I'm free.
Moving on. The new Black Box Summit. Tyler decided to write another article.
Not as popular this one.
Well,
I'm going to put my milk up.
Can't hit homers every time.
no, but singles work. Can you share maybe what your premise was and the thoughts behind making a new revamped Black Box Summit? And for those who don't know, maybe explain what the Black Box Summit was.
So I was still like freaking after posting the chase reel, my brain was just still rattling on like the spot that we're in and the community and like how do we like maybe button it back up? Is there like a Hail Mary that we can kind of do? And so I was kind of like just coming up with crazy ass ideas of like what could work. And I was also coming at it from a content perspective. And I started thinking about like back to our roots and I started thinking about the Black Box Summit. And the Black Box Summit was when it happened in 2009 when CrossFit was really starting to get shit figured out and starting to come on the rise. And I think it was one of the first times like all of the thought leaders in CrossFit all accumulated into one box and they just gave seminars on what they were working on, what they were sort of experts in and how this applied to the other boxes and best practices in boxes. And at one point, Greg Everett, I guess he made a comment about how some of Nicole's air squats weren't to depth or something, but her form wasn't good. And Dave didn't like that he said that. And then it devolved into Dave calling Greg a fat ass. And then
That's not what I heard. I thought I heard different terminology.
this is
It's
all
a family
from Rob.
show.
So it there where it
small
says Rob, this is all from Rob Wolf. I actually thought I should have called Sevon and asked him his perspective on it, but I guess they all went outside and they were essentially excommunicated. Rob Wolf was a big voice in the space at the time. He's the reason we have the zone in the L1 and all of that. Like he was one of the main thought leaders behind like some of the early nutrition stuff. And he was one of the first guys I knew that was like doing all keto and all that stuff. But anyway, like the Black Box Summit was like infamous for like, oh shit, like CrossFit will just fucking cut you out. And it's sort of like, it broke the community, but it didn't really stop anything. Everything kept moving. And I was like, what if we did a spin on that idea? And there's been some like professional confrontation stuff I've had to deal with here recently. And I'm like, it always works out better if you just like fucking make people sit down. It's like you treat them like little brothers, and you're like, you're going to hold hands until you're okay with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what if we all just fucking got over it and sat down with people that we don't like or have major disagreements with, and we fucking figure it out, and you just film it and televise it. And the ultimate goal, CrossFit coming out and saying,
are you
like,
trying to do this with the locker room?
Everybody, the PFAA, HQ, I think HQ would have to come out and say, like, hey guys, and they have every reason to do this. Like, we've been messing up a lot, and we sort of just need to rally all the wagons in a circle and get everything back in shape here. Now, I realize, and I said it in the article, this is a batshit crazy idea. This would never happen in a million years. And then I also talked about what's going on Barstool. So right now, there's Barstool Survivor. If you guys aren't watching it, their most recent episode hit at 7:55 tonight. It's freaking incredible. They basically just do these little challenges, and they've matched people up on teams that like hate each other, and they're all different media teams, and they have to compete in different events. And there's all this like little backdoor, like I'm allied with this person, not allied with this person. And there's all this backstabbing, but like people either come out liking each other that they thought they hated, or they make worse enemies. And I was like, maybe we should just do that. Like, we just lock key members of all the different media people and HQ and PFAA. We put them in the house.
I would watch it. I would pay to watch it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the visual of seeing us all together and knowing that we're all invested in this is actually the more important thing. It really matters less that we all figured it out and more that we're all seen as a force.
Dude, I would pay $1,000 to watch O'Keefe and Taylor do something together.
And so, yeah,
who is the combo you would most want to see? Maybe Halpin and Taylor would be a better one.
You could do Halpin from media, Taylor. You could do O'Keefe from there. You could do L.
Just put them in a group. I think they would just team up on Taylor. Just have the three of them would be like, hey, look what we got in common here. It's just
somebody on a team with Dave alone. That would be God. That would be so scary.
Dave and who?
I don't know what they're doing
Dave
here.
And Bellner.
They had to escape that jail cell. They did one challenge last night. They had to build that, and then they had to get keys off of like something that was out away from it. So they stick it out and pull the keys off and bring it back in. I mean, one team broke their stick. It was hilarious. I'm also on Team Mincy. I don't know if anybody here follows Barstool, but Mincy is like just a hair above like certifiably an IQ that is definitely less than 80. He like only knows about sports, and like he's made it.
Hey, who are you talking about here?
His head has been on the chopping block 4 times, and he's gotten out of it. And like at this point, you're just rooting for the worst person on the team. They did a challenge last night. They filmed this, I guess, a couple months ago, but they did a challenge last night. So that the PVC pipe in the gym where you have to do the circle and go to the next PVC pipe, you know what I'm talking about? So they did that challenge, but if you dropped, you were out. And they just dwindled down until nobody was left. They're also sponsored by Reebok right now. And they're doing, in that challenge, they wore nanos. And so I was like, somebody at Barstool is a CrossFitter, 100%.
So it's like Survivor.
It's just Survivor, but it's in an office.
Dude, I'm so down to do this with like if we ever like got all of us together. I know here the problem is we're only together like for like a weekend.
Right. And you would have to make a concerted effort of it. I mean, like
we would need to like spend a month together.
Yeah.
Probably in Nashville.
It's amazing they could do this plus all the content that they're doing outside
so
of that.
That's in their office right there. They have a huge like gym in their office. It's in Chicago, their Chicago office. Yeah. They're all sleeping there. And then like they just compete. What I think would be interesting is actually if you put the locker room on one team and then like PFA on one team, HQ on one team, but then like you have to cut your own team members.
It would ruin.
Right. But John, eventually all the teams have to combine into one team after people are eliminated.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to make friends with people on the other team because if you don't, you're cut for sure.
Bryson's the first one to go. He's the last one. That's the only fair way.
The sneaky one would be Will. Will, I think, might make it to the end.
I think Will's super clutch. You got to keep Will around.
Yeah.
Although maybe that's why you kick him off because maybe you think he would win.
That's why Mitzi is doing well because he thinks he can. So he's not a threat.
The game plan of Big Cat is to keep Mincy, so he uses him as a sacrificial goat, and then before they're about to vote, he convinces everybody we're gonna vote for Mincy to get him out, and then at the last minute he's like, "This is a bad plan." What we're gonna do?
Because everybody knows Mincy's not gonna win. Yeah. So there was a time I don't know. I'm a big Survivor fan. I watch I keep up with. I don't keep up with it. I binged it one year and watched every season. So let me I didn't start watching it until like season 30, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch them all. But I forget who his name is, but he's the Mincy, except he doesn't know anything about anything. He's like a surf guy. I'll have to find it and show you guys like a clip of him because like he might be the most retarded person that's ever been on television, and he wins, and he wins because the two people left at the end. Everybody hated the guy that was left with him. And the guy took the other guy, the dumb guy with him because he thought, oh, it's automatic win. This guy did nothing.
Everybody turned on him.
And just in spite, you're supposed to vote for who played the game the best, right? That's what you're supposed to do. But they're all vengeful and bitter. And they all voted for the other guy. The other guy won $1 million. And it's like,
Spin. Look up a picture of Mince real quick. It's Mincy, but it's spelled Mince with a Z. Yeah. There was a post. I think Dave made it a couple days ago, and it was like, believe it or not, this is what peak performance looks like. It's the guy in the red. Oh,
let's see.
He has one shirt with Barstool, and it just says
that's
King
Mincy?
of the South. That's Mincy.
Is he autistic?
No.
He looks it a little bit, man. He looks like he's got a little bit of the tiz.
He missed out. This was a straight John Young move right here. He's an Ole Miss fan. And so Ole Miss beat did they beat Georgia? They beat somebody.
They beat Alabama.
They beat Alabama. So
maybe it was Georgia. Go ahead.
But anyway, they beat somebody important. And so Mincy stayed in Mississippi and partied. And the next day, they had to be in Chicago, and DraftKings was sponsoring their show. And Mincy was in the run to win $25,000. And all he had to do was gamble on one game and be on the live stream in Chicago. And he was late to his flight, and most people think it was on purpose. And he just gave up $25,000. I mean, this dude's hilarious.
Why is that a total me move? I feel like I'd be all about it.
Oh, I won't bring up what happened at Crash. I'll leave that alone.
Y'all left me. I was ready to go. I was ready to go at the time that we said we were ready to go. Everybody decided to leave 30 minutes early.
This is last year. Portnoy had to fire Ben Mintz for rapping a racial slur.
There you go.
He's back though.
That's there it is.
when Dave bought them back out for $1 from Penn, his first hire was Mintz.
Look at that guy. He looks like he should be like a cartoon or something.
Who would Tyler be partnered with? Craig?
Oh, if we're partner with our enemies?
Yeah.
Halpin.
Let's figure this out. Halpin's everybody's enemy though. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Who's your worst enemy that you'd be partnered with?
The other one would be Brian.
Friend?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
You don't have enough enemies.
Yeah, I don't really have enemies.
I don't have any enemies.
I think there's plenty of people that would not be thrilled hanging out with you.
You wouldn't be enemies with them, but they would be enemies with you.
I think we can name a few.
Spiegel.
Mitch
you
Hooper?
and Spiegel on the team.
Spiegel might not even know I exist though. is the
Probably
thing.
not.
No, Spiegel will be with Hiller.
I don't even think Mitchell Hooper doesn't like me. I think he just did that for clicks. It's you know who it is? It's that girl's wife. That girl who emailed everybody.
Yeah.
That's who I'd be partnered with. You know what's funny is I'd be like, "What's up, girl?" And then she would be like, the worst. I'd make such a good time out of it, and she would like hate me for it. Who would Spence be?
Spin has no enemies that I know of.
Probably Halpin.
LaFranco back in the day. I think he's probably chilled out on the mountaintop, but
Yeah.
back in the day,
Zen now.
he would not be thrilled. I don't know. I try not to make too many enemies.
Oh, Coop.
Coop wasn't a big fan
There
of
you
me.
go. That's your dude.
I think he's calmed down too.
He's calmed down.
I
will
maybe,
say,
maybe
one
not.
One of the greatest moments at Wadapalooza was watching Coop come. He said, "Hey, we need to talk." Ben just goes,
Okay. And no, I think it has to be Halpin because out of the people who want Spence demise the most, I think Halpin wants Spence demise the most. You know what I mean? You gotta think who wants you to fail the most.
No,
I don't think anybody.
he would be able to reshare and then comment on my stuff. I give him ammunition. Before I forget, ESC Sounds loves the show. Thank you.
ESC.
Thank
we
you.
love you.
T-Bird, 12 months a member. It's a long time.
This is
Why
how
don't
you
you
know.
guys? Why don't you guys reach out to no reps ahead? Reps ahead.
We probably burn that bridge too.
Yeah. we get John on the live stream and then get canceled.
For what?
No,
just interacting or doing something for reps ahead.
all of our athletes know John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think reps ahead would be fine.
Yeah.
But no, I think something like that. It reminds me of the Tahoe Throwdown.
Yeah.
Right. It's what the old media used to be. Kind of what Barstool was. But it wasn't employees of the company. It was
Community members,
athletes that did stuff. Like,
It's a good one.
JY.
Because he's blocked me. I know he knows who I am because he blocked me.
You guys would be friends at the end.
Yeah, I honestly think I'd be like, hey man, that's my opinion. You know, I just don't think you're great.
I can't run either.
And like you got to think like I'm harder on strong people. If you ever y'all
the thing
realize
is,
I don't root for strong people very often, like ever.
Well, the thing is, what your I don't want to say hate, but your criticism of him is because if he could shore that up, he would be one of the best CrossFitters ever.
He'd be great.
And it's not coming at like attacking him. It's pointing out that if he could just fix that one piece.
And instead he's lifting.
Yeah.
I am harder on strong people though. I have come to realize.
Well, let's remember your picks for Emily Rolfe at Rogue.
That's fair. That's fair.
What would be funny is the entire first day of CrossFit Survivor would be John having to have talks with everybody to calm down tensions.
Dude, I think it'd be great. Are you kidding me?
I know I said this.
I like Gee. No, listen. I'd be like Guillermo, however you say her name.
Guillermo.
You whatever it is. Am I wrong?
Got some
Thanks, Lauren
followers.
That's what I would tell Guy. I would say, am I wrong? And if I'm not, then how come your best performance was your first year when there were 3 freaking max outs? Tell me where I'm wrong, Lee. And if he can give me a logical reason why I'm wrong, I'll be in his camp. If he can't, he knows I'm right. And then you're like, yeah, I get it, man. But just don't be such a dick sometimes. And I'm like, you're probably right. I probably am too much hard on you. And then we'll move on. Boom. That's it.
The one thing I wanted to add about the new Black Box Summit, the White Box Summit, as I referred to it, and the Barstool idea was how many people DM'd me and said that they would be down to do it, and I was like, "Yep,
dude, I would do a Black Box Summit."
I think
Spin would moderate it.
There is no moderator at that. You just
let people go.
Yeah, you just make it crazy. All right, we're gonna move on to. He did just do it.
Hey, if that's the case, then he should be great at CrossFit. Is he great at CrossFit? No. I'm talking about for elite people.
Yeah, he did a marathon.
Very slow marathon. I saw his run at Rogue. How was that? Looked like a marathon pace.
That was a grid guy right there.
I know. I hate it when people try to make excuses for him. It's the worst thing ever. But I'm sorry, Fico. You're great.
Blind rankings. And you guys aren't going to be thrilled with this one. It's not my best.
Boy.
It's not as good as last week.
I believe in it.
But Christmas is coming. Rogue gifts under $60. What should you get?
I like this one, actually.
We'll see what
you say that every week.
We're setting a budget. We're being fiscally responsible, John.
We are.
Okay, I'm okay.
So,
yeah.
So if you missed it,
tough.
60 tough, man. Why not 100?
That's what Rogue has: gifts under 30 and gifts under 60.
Okay,
as a little section there. So if you missed out on Matte Black November, I remember when it used to be Matte Black Friday, and now they just extend it for an entire month. You still have time to order before Christmas. All right, let's see what you guys want to buy or buy somebody from Bill and Katie. First one, some rolls of goat tape.
5.
Couldn't care less. Yep, I'm glad.
Do you take your thumbs?
Nope,
me neither. Hands are too small.
But it needs a lot of tape.
Have
you ever used?
What do I do with my hands?
John, have you ever like even
I
tried
have before, but when there was like 100 reps of like hang cleans, not like not for like lifting heavy. I don't wear tape almost ever. The only time I wear tape is if I get like a rip on my thumb or something, and I just it hurts less when I have tape on it.
I've used it if I'm bleeding. The only other time I've used tape has been John, if you remember that sandbag clean event at TFX a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. You had to do like you had to go touch and go out a sandbag. And my grip was already blown from stuff we had already done that weekend. So I inverted the tape. So I put the sticky side on the outside and I wrapped it all the way up the outside.
So he went all full on strongman. That's what Tyler did. He was like, I'm going to sticky tack these forearms up. We're going to wait. Hey, I don't need a sandbag. Give me an Atlas stone out here.
That shit works too.
I've never heard that done before.
Everybody looked at me like I was an idiot, and I kind of was, but oh well.
Tyler was prime time like 2012 CrossFit.
Oh, 100%.
That's what he looked like. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one. Let's see if you guys regret putting goat tape at the bottom. Fat grips.
Oh, dude, I love fat grips. Dude, fat grips
like
are great. They're a great grip. I use fat grips like semi-frequently, once a week.
Me too. Every barbell I've ever grabbed, it feels like a fat grip to me. I would like to have some fat grips. No,
leave
kidding.
that alone. I would say, man, I kind of want to say 2 just because I use it. I feel like
3.
it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff I don't use at all.
2 or
And
3.
You make the call.
I say 2.
All right.
I just think $60. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we don't use.
What do you use your fat grips for?
Deadlifts and just like grip stuff.
Okay. Appropriate.
Just grip work.
Makes sense.
Checks out.
What do you use your fat grips?
I put them on my jugs of milk so I can.
That's what you're supposed to
I don't use them. We don't have any, so I don't ever use them.
Next one. Some Oso barbell collars.
Like I just don't care.
What are those? The clampy, like the round ones?
Those
Yeah,
like
assume they're the nice collars.
yeah, they're like the nice ones are like
You see,
56
I prefer the clip-on collars.
Really?
I like those much better than the hand grippy collar because I can do it with one hand. I can do it real quick. Like those,
if you're weight
you have to peel it off every time, and I don't like that at all. I would much prefer just the.
But doesn't it slide easier?
Who cares, Brian? It slides 2 inches. All right, like I'm not.
It's not worth a name.
And like when people
shout out,
I do, and I hate it. People do this at my gym all the time. It's the worst thing in the world. Like their weights will slide just a little bit, and like they got. Let's say there's 15 reps. There's 15 cleans. We'll say clean and jerks. So you're bouncing it a lot. Weights are sliding a lot, and then by rep 8, they've slid maybe an inch off to the side, right? And then they'll do 4, and then they have 3 more left, right? And then they'll fix the other side. And like just do all of your reps, go do something else, and then come back, slide them up, you're good to go. Like I don't know the last time where I had to fix my weights. I've had my weights like hanging off, and I'm like, it's just 2 more. Who cares? Right? Like, dude, like I think it's super. That's like a little gym pet peeve of mine that I see people do. I will let you, if you want to say 3, Tyler, you can.
I would say 3.
I just think I don't care about them at all.
They're nice to have. Sometimes, like especially like if you're just lifting, like in a weightlifting session, I'd like to have those because I like sliding. I usually don't use clips in like just weightlifting stuff, but those I probably would use. And so I'd like to have some nice ones. I invert my regular clips like in a Metcon.
Oh, so those, yeah.
Yeah, to where it's like kind of poking into the weight. I find that they do not slip if you do that. Just
it's probably not the best for the weights, but
who cares?
Yeah, I don't.
It's the gym's weights. It doesn't matter.
I would rather somebody do that than like fix it every 5 reps.
Yeah,
it's a good rest time.
That's the point. So it's like somebody like,
damn it, John.
4.
God,
Road Crocs.
4.
Hate Crocs. They're a stench on humanity.
I don't feel nearly as strong as Tyler about that, but
they're gross.
I won't wear them. But
it's the one thing I have against CTP is that he wears freaking Crocs.
Just wait.
He ran a 5K.
Wait till you have
Crocs.
kids. Wait till you have kids, and they're like the easiest thing to use.
Let's get some flip flops.
Tying some shoes. Guess what? Life's hard. Tie them damn shoes.
What's wrong with you like Crocs over flip flops?
No.
Yes.
I like flip flops.
Yeah, I like flops. So
did you not watch Kelly Starrett back in the day? Mobility WOD. You need to have a strap on the back of your heel.
Why?
It's bad for you. Bad for your feet to be wearing flip flops.
Is it bad for my mobility?
No, I'm talking about thong flip flops between the toe.
Oh
yeah.
No, I'm talking about
thing.
the long strap flip flops. No, that's not between any toes.
Slides, any of them.
Yeah, slides.
Oh,
if you were to say it's bad for your mobility, I call BS. My mobility in my ankles and my hips and my knees are fantastic. So, and all I wear is flops.
Mr. Mobility WOD would beg to differ.
You wear Crocs, Brian?
I have Crocs
You
because
Croc man, Brian?
I don't wear them unless I need them for.
How's your ankle mobility?
They're trash.
The Crocs helping you out?
Has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it.
You're gonna throw Kelly Starrett at me.
You took a known weakness and used it against him, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's rough.
He started it. He said Kelly Starrett.
You can't. He like punched you in the shoulder, and you took out a Bowie knife and slit his throat.
Take that.
I'm sorry.
Ben and H2O, new member. Thank you. Melanie Hodge, another member for 12 months, loves her Crocs. Very comfy.
You buy my Crocs, you can have mine.
Marsh, $1.99. Thank you. Can I call Join Young a little boy?
Join Young.
When we get Join on here, he can.
Yeah. All right, Rogue Crocs. You guys put it at number 4.
Oh, yeah. I hate when we leave one because it just paints us in a corner so hard. It's always great or it's terrible.
I don't think it'd be too bad, but we'll find out. And the last thing,
terrible.
It is the Rogue Basic T-shirt.
Yeah.
I love all of Rogue's T-shirts.
So here's the thing: I would wear the shirt. You know what I mean? Well, I'm basing this on would I?
What do you want?
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, would I use it? Yeah. Honestly, I would have had Fat Grips first.
I like the list, except for I would put Crocs at the bottom. Goat tape.
I don't mind that. Yeah, I did not know you had this crazy disdain for Crocs. I don't have a crazy disdain for them, but I'm with you. I have used tape before. I have never worn a Croc before, and I probably never will.
I'm really curious to know how Rogue's T-shirts apparel sell now versus what it did.
Oh, back in
10
the day.
years ago.
There's
10
no
years
way
ago,
close.
everybody had to buy a Rogue shirt. Now there's way too many other options.
What was that MMA company that like everybody wore their shirts? Somebody in the comments will know. It was like Affliction. It was like it back in 2000.
What's so funny, Spin? Why was that
Shirts
funny?
are awful. Those shirts are terrible.
But what I'm saying is like back in 2014, you knew people were in two camps. If you were in the MMA camp, you wore an Affliction shirt, and if you wore a Rogue shirt, you were a CrossFitter.
Yeah, Vindicate's calling Tap Out, but I think
Tap Out. That's it.
Affliction shirts are like those jeweled ones, right?
Yeah. Tap Out.
Hey, I 100% wore that in high school. I was in South Florida. That's what they did. They wore shirts like that. And then I moved to Illinois and they didn't wear shirts like that. And I was like,
made fun of.
It was really bad.
Tell me you were in Podunk, Illinois, too.
I had Ed Hardy, I had Affliction, and that's what people wore. That's what people wore. I was in South Florida, where like rich kids, South Florida. That's where I did my first year in high school, and then I went to freaking Illinois, and it was so different.
Poppy Young, Larry, you got to DM me some photos of John and his old Affliction.
I don't know
gear.
if we have any photos.
I hope you do. Gotta have something.
No, and they had jewels. They I'm gonna tell you right now, they definitely did.
I've never worn a jeweled shirt in my entire life. God, when I was in 8th grade, I remember all the girls wore Birkenstocks. You know, the kind of like your feet just kind of slip in. They're basically like slides, and we used to hear. I remember like back in the day, you would hear rumors like, people would say. Dudes in Ohio wear those, but you would get called gay at our school if you wore.
Marco Calderon wore True Religion pants in high school. Fun fact: the CFO of CrossFit was the CFO at True Religion.
What's True Religion?
Like
those
high-end jeans back in the day. They also
where'd you get those pants at the pants store? No, True Religion, bro.
I don't know anything about True Religion.
Well, the CFO of CrossFit was there when they went bankrupt and declared.
Is he a bankruptcy CEO? You got to specialize in something.
Sousa talked about it. He went through his history, and it was. He has a specific track record, and it's not rebuilding. So yeah, there you go. Road gifts.
Jeans for guys from Ohio.
That sounds like a pants store if I've ever heard one.
I don't know why we thought like Ohio was doing like fresh new things. It's fucking Ohio.
Yeah, where's that coming
It's
from,
Kentucky.
Tyler?
It's Kentucky, man. Everything was 20 years late to Kentucky.
So Kentucky feels like Ohio is like King Dingaling, huh?
No, it like Ohio is like basically unanimously hated amongst Kentucky folks.
Okay. It sounds like people in Kentucky go tell their children one day you might be able to live in Ohio. Hey, what's funny? You know who's from Ohio?
Graham Holmberg,
Your worst enemy.
Marcus Hendren.
Your worst enemy.
Oh, I know.
And we didn't talk about this last week, but the CrossFit Athlete Council, also known as the CAC.
CAC block.
And what's funny is in their press release, they talked about having the Athlete Advisory Council and the Divisional Athlete Committee, both of which they referred to as the AAC and the DAC. And then they release a council with CAC, like we're not going to take it and go with it. But
why did we skip BAC? If we had
because that's the name of the steroid company that Barry Bonds took his steroids from.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So anyway, the new CAC consists of 3 committees: individuals and coaches, affiliates and teams, and divisional, which includes masters, teenagers, and adaptives.
Subcommittees.
That's fair. And they also required certain things that you have to have. One of those is you have to have your own CrossFit level 1.
All right.
Which throws out Pat Vellner, throws out Brent Fikowski, throws out
John Young,
the elite athletes. You must be associated with an affiliate in good standing. I don't know what that means. I guess
It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Good grief.
That means Frank. Anybody from Frank's gym cannot be on the CAC.
Yeah,
why is that?
Because he is not in good standing.
He is not in good standing with Don. Must be actively
people who Frank is.
No.
If you don't know who Frank is, you don't need to know.
Okay.
We don't need to talk about Frank.
Yeah. No, if you say his name too many times, he fucking appears like Bloody Mary.
I'm just waiting for Hiller to pop up and start screaming. You must be actively engaged in the competition season, so no skipping out on the open. And you cannot be a employee of CrossFit HQ. So sorry, Chase. Yeah, there you go.
CAC blocked. Chase got CAC blocked.
When this came out, do you guys think that they put these requirements in specifically to
keep out professional athletes?
Hinder the PFAA?
I would say no. I don't feel like it's a crazy bridge to cross to say have your L1. Now the gym in good standing might be an impediment because like what do you do if you're HWPO? They're not affiliated, right?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
They have their gym is affiliated. They don't do anything with it, but
there are no camps that aren't affiliated, I guess. Then because Brute operates out of
Brute's not I can't remember the name of it, but it's they work out in a gym. I don't think they're affiliated with that gym.
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. My dog's going crazy.
All right.
I guess then it doesn't really impose much of a barrier.
Come on, let's go.
Like, he's 85 years old. I swear to God. I don't mind the L1. Like, why is that insane? This is the CrossFit Games.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking at it, I think, from a community aspect. Like, we are CrossFitters, not this is for elite athletes. I think it's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Krithika is asking why JY is always sleepy.
He works hard.
Very tough.
Do you see any issues or problems?
I'm curious to know if anybody from the PFAA tries to get on it.
I think they would be silly if they didn't. Would you assume that they don't?
Well, there's only a handful that probably could. I don't know who on the PFA has their level 1.
Oh yeah, because wasn't like the number of athletes who were at the games, wasn't it like a stupid low percentage that actually had their L1?
Yeah, and they all got it free when they competed in 23. They gave away all of the games athletes, elite individuals, got a free access to an L1, and only a handful took advantage of it.
All right, there, Tom Cruise.
Y'all like that? Look good.
It's good. How do you apply for the PFAG?
You just identify.
That's the best way to do it.
You self-identify as PFAG member.
I mean, I think it's. You say it wasn't in response to the PFAA.
You think it was?
I think so, and if what Hiller posted is correct, that the athlete council and the divisional athlete council or committee were both disbanded because of the PFAA, that kind of throws a whole wrinkle in the whole thing, right?
Right.
I think it's 100% in response to PFAA. I think it's like a
But it shows their colors, doesn't it? Because it's what they wanted. Okay, get rid of the Dave demand, but like go back a couple of years before any of this stuff happened, and the PFAA was trying to get this going. This is what they wanted. Is it not?
Well, didn't in 2020, didn't the PFAA and this athlete advisory council get started around the exact same time?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I feel like the PFAA was second. And then I remember thinking back at the time, there's a bit of a conflict of interest if it's within HQ. And that, like, if you wanted like real freedom, I guess it wouldn't work underneath the umbrella of HQ.
But they're the sport, though. Like,
yeah, sport, but
they're going to be working with them anyway. That's where it's like, I don't. First of all, again, I don't know. Just like the PFAA, I don't know how or what they provide in relation to how this game season works.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to yeah, what when they get in these committees and they get in these meetings, what are they going to talk about? Like,
we want in-person competitions. Okay. Right. Well, there's limitations. There's different things that you guys aren't involved in. Great. I mean, like, here's the responsibilities: proactively engage with athletes and constituents from the group to gather feedback and be able to effectively represent their needs and desires.
Okay. I mean, if you're an athlete, you're around people, you can talk, and all right, check, done.
Yeah. Work with HQ to share feedback and discuss issues relevant to the sport.
Okay. So really, they're just a city council. Hey, this is what everybody feels. Do it, please.
Or here's what everybody in the city is talking about, just so you know.
Right. And you can choose to do it or not.
Right.
Or do anything. Here's what we would recommend that you do.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's up to their discretion.
Right. Help communicate the outcome of those back to all of the angry city members.
That's not going to happen.
Schedule meeting cadence and facilitate meeting agendas. So
handle your own business.
And manage committee member representation going forward.
Handle your own business.
You can self-apply by December 17th.
Can I apply?
Did you get an email?
No.
Basically, they sent out. It sounds like they sent out to all like semifinal athletes who have an L1.
So the thing that Brent and Pat, I think Pat was like whining about this a little bit in his episode with Pedro, was that like athletes who aren't representative of the athletes who actually be on the floor will be representing those athletes. So he was talking about, I think, like a really exaggerated example of like some 6-year-old, masters athlete who won't be representing, or a 6-year-old quarterfinals athlete representing athletes who are actually going to be. And so they just took care of that, and they were like, yeah, we're just going to handpick like the athletes that we think will qualify.
Well, you had to be, I think it was the games athletes in all of those divisional groups could be part of it this year. And then if you're an individual, it was like semifinal level.
Right.
And same with the teams. So Barkley Dale, the amount that JY doesn't care about this is second to none.
What are you talking about, man? I love this stuff.
Do you, John?
Yeah, man.
John, you got to try. There are stuff that you talk about that I still try to participate in.
Well, I think it's fine if semifinalists are on the CAG. I think it's fine. I think it was a direct thing that HQ did in response to the PFAA. I think they're like, no, we'll just do it. We don't care what y'all are doing. Okay. Anything else? It's a lot of mumbo jumbo. It means none of it means anything until something happens.
And Barkley, if you had gotten what John was wanting to do, that he spent 8 hours on today.
How is it you had to spend 8 hours on it,
and
Barkley also had to spend time on it?
This is a big project.
Barkley was helping me make it look pretty. So I don't know how to do that.
How is it that you had to spend 8 hours to do something?
It was a lot of information collecting.
Somebody asked earlier why you're so sleepy. Evidently, John works on projects that none of us will ever see.
I do a lot of different things, man. I got a lot of different.
What else could you do today? You did it for 8 hours, John.
Barkley says he sent it. I don't know.
He did send it. I got it in my email, and then I just saw that, and then you said we weren't doing it, and I was like, okay.
I didn't see it. I don't know.
Next
week is a cliffhanger of all of John's hard work. We'll be so excited to see.
Y'all are hyping it up to be too much. It's not.
18 hours into this project.
Now you're making it. Now you're hyping it up. It literally was a segment for a down week when we don't have nothing to talk about. It was a segment for that.
John skipped 2 naps and 1 bath.
I did
skip
a nap. I did. I had to take 2 caffeine pills. Okay. And it's
no one asked him or required him to take.
I get a little shaky when that happens. And I made it through like 3 Game of Thrones episodes. Okay. It was in the background.
I know, John, you don't feel like talking about this. So we'll answer some questions. Sarah Cooper wants to know Hopper talk.
Hopper left HWPO and he went to Brute.
Brute now has 3 of the top 4 male athletes.
I didn't even think about that. I thought the Instagram video was very good. I thought it was a pretty darn cool introduction.
What did he say? Because I haven't watched it.
There was nothing said. It was just
anything.
Dallin walked up.
It was just pretty cool.
Put a jersey on a guy wearing a hoodie, and then it was revealed that it was
Hopper. It was very well done. I thought
goobers.
No, dude, I ate it up.
It was better than the YouTube video.
It was YouTube video is nothing. YouTube video. Hey guys, it's nothing that they did wrong. It's me. It's not them.
Great memories. Love the memories.
Yeah, everybody's super
if
great.
I close my eyes, you sound just like Jason.
I'm gonna go to Brute now and work out with Dallin.
I'll treasure that time I spent in Vermont.
We're already kind of the same person, so I
That you
figure
ran
we
away
just be
from.
twins. He is going to be coached by Coach L, and my immediate thought was that this is amazing. Not for Hopper, not for Coach L, not for Brute, but just so I get to hear Taylor's reaction to this news. And and more and like I just feel like it's gonna keep like giving in pieces. You know what I mean? I feel like it's never gonna stop, and it's true entertainment. It's so
it almost
fun.
feels calculated given the drama between Taylor and
what's
It
funny
does
is
feel slightly calculated. Yeah.
yeah, I mean they were going through it last week when this is already made up. Like they knew it. Seriously. If you look closely, you can see O'Keefe holding the gun in the reflection behind Hopper.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's why I had the auto blur on the camera.
So I think that will be fun. It's going to be an interesting dynamic.
No, I mean I think it's good move. If he gets to train with Dallin, I mean
I believe him when he says he just wants a little change, but like I feel like he's still going to be doing with his secret sauce still being his secret sauce and
the not so secret sauce
and JR. I feel like that's not going to change. And then it's just like base programming will change is what what I'm saying. But like weakness work is still going to be JR. But and I don't know anything for a fact at all, but like I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. But no, I think it's going to bring a lot of entertainment. I hope that they do kill Taylor versus the world for online semifinals or whatever form the locker room ends up working out.
Yeah.
And Hopper is there and Coach L comes. And it's just gonna be super, super great. Can you imagine that? It's gonna be super, super great. Instead of Chris Ibarra, it's gonna turn to Coach L. The second Taylor wins a workout, just the mean mug of a stare at Coach L, and then he's just gonna give him a Sentinel card, a 1 month free Sentinel training, or honestly, if I was Taylor, if I beat Hopper in whatever workout, I would pull it out of like in my sock or something, just have it pre-prepared and just throw it on him as he's like on the ground. You know what I mean? Because they're all on the ground, right? When they're done.
Yeah.
And just throw it on him on the ground and walk away. And it's going to be super fun. What would be even more fun is if L did the same thing. Like when Hopper won the workout, had some kind of blue card or whatever, But yeah, no, I am excited for what's to come for everybody.
They should have done a reel of Hopper instead of I am Groot. I am Brute.
I think what they did was better than that.
Well, they can use that in the future.
They could with him though. I am Brute. Like just after a lift. Just do some kind of like snatch or something. I am Brute. Just make it like a running thing. Like Dallin does whatever Dallin does, and then Jason does like 5 pounds more, and then just says I am Brute after every single time.
Outside of Hopper though, HWPO, Jake Marconi right after that says that he's not coaching.
That was the crazy
He's
one.
now doing the strong programming.
Which
can you explain that a little bit further?
Strong guy. So it was the strongest gay. I can't remember. Rob
Kearney.
Rob Kearney. Yeah.
He did like their strong programming, which I guess was more powerlifting based. I don't know.
Well, they have an Olympic lifting coach too, Amy Everett.
But strong, I think, is more powerlifting.
Sure. Well, if you have Amy, why would he would? You know what I'm saying? So like they're trying to hit it in both spectrums.
Yeah, and so I don't know where Rob's been. I've heard he's been MIA or taking a step back from it. So that's what Marconi's doing. He moved back to the farm with his parents. Gonna go do some farm work and write strong programming.
I want a document. I want an HWPO documentary.
Are you
Like
sure?
a 30 for 30?
Yes, the rise and destruction of, or the rise and fall of HWPO.
The
100,
slight.
please. And then like the rise is just Matt and like how great Matt is, right? And then like Steffi Cohen comes in, and then she gets arrested twice, and then and then like the second half of the documentary of the 30 for 30, there's just a lot less Matt and a lot more O'Keefe. And like it just
A lot of
like
drama.
you see like the disparity of what's happening. And then I don't know what it would culminate with. What, Hopper leaving, or
I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, it feels like they're stepping away from the elite competition side and focusing on the affiliate
what are they?
garage
They
gym
shouldn't
programming.
do that because that's already done. One, Mayhem, I wouldn't say they have a monopoly on it, but Mayhem's got it locked. Like they're pretty good. And then Proven is just better than you. So like elite, if you have elite athletes and you're doing affiliate programming, I feel like Proven's doing it better. And then Mayhem is Mayhem, right? Mayhem's freaking Rome. So
These are HWPO boxes, huh?
These are all the affiliates that use HWPO.
Now, I didn't even think about this. This is a great comment. Very McCockner. Like, and then street parking has all your garage gym stuff. Like, I just feel like
not a lot.
They have a lot of gyms though.
That's
a lot. But their headquarters spin. Nobody lives there. So I'm saying, like, these gyms.
I get it. I don't think it's a good. I don't think it's good to leave the sports side of things if that's really what they're doing. I think that gives them the visibility to the coaches who want to use the programming that Matt did, which I don't even think you could say that anymore. But do you start to reevaluate over the next couple of years if you're on HWPO and say, maybe I go to Proven, maybe I go to Mayhem instead?
Because it's what Matt did.
But does Matt even do any of the programming now?
No, he doesn't. But I'm saying that's
why
all
they
these
started.
Gyms got on here. You know what I mean? I'm willing to bet there's like half of these gyms. There's kind of like the extra Netflix account that you have that you didn't know you had. Like, and these gyms are paying for it, and they don't know they're paying for it.
That's a lot of money. CrossFit East Nashville, CrossFit Tribune. CrossFit Tribune used to have Will Moorhead program for him. Fun fact. CrossFit Illuminati.
Cool.
You know that gym, John?
No.
It's on the coast.
That's like the heart of Houston.
Really?
Well, no, it looks like it's I don't know the gym, but it looks like, here, can you zoom a little bit more? Oh, it actually is not that far away from me. I probably should know it. Because
you don't, because it's the Illuminati.
You're out here, right?
Yeah, go down a little bit, like down from Katie. No, like zoom in a little bit more. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys my
one more.
I'm just
one more.
So like if you see this full shear, you see full shear right here.
Yeah.
And you see Katie right there. I'm like in the middle somewhere.
Right in there.
There it is. People, go find John Young.
Yeah.
I would love to know, like, Nick, I mean, you tried to bash it out of Kiefer. Like, what is HWPO doing wrong?
Yes. Well, what's Proven doing different than HWPO?
I would just word it like that at this point. Like, you're right, John. People signed up for HWPO because of Matt. But they also did that. I remember when What's Rich Doing came out. And it was like everybody and their sister signed up for that. And then they turned it into,
Mayhem.
a blog program. And then they turned it into an affiliate program. And they've just continued to do more and more better. And it's like, what? I mean, what's HWPO doing right? I think would be the easier, less lengthy question.
I think Spin hit it on the head, or maybe it was Kiefer that said it, is that just when they tried to outside everybody and like do the best of the best, and like you get a strong man to teach you how to be strong, you get an Amy Everett to teach you Olympic lifting, and you get Chris Hinshaw for aerobic capacity. Like yeah, I get it. They're the best of the. I get it. That's a great thought process.
but you can't train like a strong man and train like an Olympic lifter and train like a ultra runner or an Ironman person and then be great at CrossFit. That doesn't equal great at CrossFit. And one, that's not what Matt did, like at all. He did 20 years of Olympic lifting and then never Olympic lifted ever again. Like to try to get good at Olympic lifting.
To get better.
Right?
Yeah.
He had that part, just had it already. Didn't have to work it at all.
So he did rowing EMOMs.
All he did was have to do aerobic capacity. And then, yes, he's a freak of the freaks. He's, genetically gifted and very, one of the hardest workers there is. Obviously he has all that stuff, right? But he didn't hire a strong man, an Olympic lifting coach, and then tried to train that way, as well as trying to be the fittest you can be. Like, there's a person that I know at HWPO where like they're how they were going to get strong is they had like 3 hours of Olympic lifting. And I'm sitting here thinking, I promise you, like, give me 40 minutes a day and I'll make you stronger than that person ever could. Because, and I just know this. I've seen it work a million times because that person can't lift 3 hours a day and maintain fitness. And they're going to try to. That's the thing is they're going to try to. They're going to train all day. And then you're run down. And then you can't lift good. Like, you have to feel good and be rested to lift good, right? And you can't do that if you're trying to be one of the fittest people in the world, right? You have an hour. And you got to learn how to get stronger in that hour. You know what I mean? And like, if you try to do way too, like, I think people are trying to do way, way too much. You don't need that much. You really, really don't. And I think that's HWPO is just throwing different types of volume on these people. And it's not equaling Matt Fraser.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's been able to do it.
Like, I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Matt Souza. People buy from people they like. Personally and presence matters a lot once the novelty wears off. And I think that's where they're at right now.
Yeah, I haven't really consumed any of their content. I know they're putting it out. I watched a little bit of their Rogue behind the scenes with Jake and some of the guys, and I was just like, Jason. I was just like, but you don't really see anybody from the business front end say like, hey guys, this is like what we're doing. Whereas with Rich and all them, we're doing that shit constantly.
I would say when I ask
them, they're not all that dissimilar, but it's CrossFit instead of like a whole bunch of different things.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Rich engages with the community still. He still goes to gyms and
he's not mad. I get it. There's more of a symbol there. There's always going to be
a
symbol there. Yeah.
But like Matt had the opportunity to be that symbol and he just didn't. And it's like people buy that.
He didn't want to be.
Well, then
I don't blame him. Yeah, yes. I don't blame him for not wanting to be. I think it's a little bit hard to come after Rich Froning, right? It's like, like LeBron, it's impossible for him to come after Michael Jordan. Everybody loves Michael Jordan. And then I think LeBron was a better next than Matt Fraser as far as like embracing the spot, like, all the stuff that comes with it. But Matt didn't want any of that. But the thing is, he was better and he didn't want any of it.
To push back though, like that was probably, I think Rich has seen that as part of the job description, especially in the early years when he was still like doing the team stuff. But like, as he's gotten sort of out of just doing CrossFit all the time, and now he's doing other fitness stuff and moving on with his life, he's done a good job of replacing himself. He can never fully do it, but like, making you focus on other leaders in the company. And like, that's not true for HWPO. Like, we know of O'Keefe, but we just see him as like some business guy. We don't really see him as like a member of HWPO, somebody who really cares about what you're doing. Like, we just see him as a numbers dude.
I think he cares about the people in HWPO.
Right. But not one of the community. Like,
no,
not
O'Keefe is like in I don't know any of these people. So, like, if it gets back to him, I don't know any of y'all. This is somebody's talking from just what I see. O'Keefe, I feel like...
Disclaimer before getting canceled.
Like, with all due respect, O'Keefe, in my opinion, like he seems like a guy that he's going to do anything and everything and watch out for him and his, I mean, his people, his circle. And he's going to try to do everything that's best for his circle. Everybody that's not in the circle, he could care less. Like, truly, like, I don't care about you. You know what I mean? How does this benefit me or my people? And then that's it.
Yeah, I would say Rich is the same way, though.
Rich
is very
so hard.
Look at all the people who work for him that he are just like his fucking cousins.
Yeah, it's different. When Rich goes to places, he has no problem like talking with fans and letting people see him and like having conversations, and like he has no problem with the community. I truly think Rich cares about the betterment of CrossFit as a whole for everybody that does CrossFit. O'Keefe doesn't. O'Keefe, it's like hard work pays off. That's it. How do I better this? I don't care about the people, the soccer moms in your gym. How does Matt Fraser get money? Like that, you see what I'm saying?
So you and I actually agree. And I think like what we're both trying to say is like, if you want to run an HWPO, a Mayhem, one of these big camps, and you want to market to the affiliates, what you're doing.
Steven, hold on, Tyler. This is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, but I was on a really good point. You interrupted me right in the fucking middle of it.
Go ahead, Tyler. Go, Tyler. Go, Tyler.
You have a responsibility. You're a community leader. That comes with all of these duties that you have to do. I don't really give a shit if you don't want to like be out in front of people and you don't want to be the face of the company. Sorry, bro. You signed up. You have to. You have to care about the community. Sorry. Go do the
And I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying is like Rich sees it as it's a part of the job. That's what comes with it as far as being one of the fittest in the world.
It goes to what Fraser said.
Company,
That's what Fraser said in 2018, 2019, where it's like, when I'm done, you'll never see me again.
Yeah.
And he got dragged into doing HWPO training. And it feels like he's like, this isn't what I signed up for.
And it's a little unfair to him because I don't think he wanted any of it.
He's the one who fucking signed the business document.
It's a lot different. It's a lot different role, I think, than he may have thought.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I feel like it was like, I'm going to create programming. I'll do programming for, whatever we're going to do, have some athletes up here. And then it just like went more than what they thought.
It's 8 a.m. for me, Barry. So I just wanted to correct you.
If you're trying to show up,
yeah, the JY Barbell girls, we're 7, 8 o'clock crew. Just letting you know.
A little bit southwest of Katy.
There's a couple guys though at 9 a.m. If you want to, you're like that. They're at 9.
The energy that Matt had, I remember they did like some videos whenever he was trying to set the whole thing up with Steffi, and that energy that he had back then of like, I want to be involved with the programming. That was palpable and that was cool. But
that's
like
why Jim signed on.
Yeah, we haven't seen that since.
Yeah. Well,
I'm interested in what Steven said now.
No, it has nothing. It was just correcting how John spoke. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I think it's time to wrap it up.
Oh.
It's been a good show. Go check out the Proven Community Competition. I saw Nick just texted me and Tyler, so I'll have some more information. Share that tomorrow in an article so you guys have it. But I would recommend going and signing up for that. $20, 4 workouts, 2 weekends.
Join us.
Yeah, and I'm super down to make it a thing between us. Hopefully there's like a rowing workout that Sven can crank on.
I wonder if you can set up your, like, I know that you're going to get all the affiliate stuff, but if you did like, I run a gym, but people signed up underneath us. And we did our own.
Me or Spin?
Spin.
Yeah.
Oh, like and our people here are coming?
And our people just compete.
Anybody in the garage?
That would be really cool.
Or not unaffiliated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Nick, see if maybe we can pull that off.
The Spin gym?
Pull some strengths.
Yeah. I think I know a guy. I know where they live too, or at least where they work out.
Shows up at Proven.
Yeah.
Nick's like, it's where I live. It's
true.
The same. It's the same.
That's true. All right, guys. Till next week. We will see you till then.
I apologize to absolutely nobody.